What's crack-a-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're back again once again for another Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft and I give you my opinions on it. It is quite that, Mock the Mock. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And as always, indulge in the nice football discourse in the comment section below. We'll be back again tomorrow night with another Walk the Mock stream. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a live draft simulator where you can draft against real people in real time. We do this on our streams, at least in the build up to the draft. So we're trying to do this about 3 times a week. So come join us for that. You have to be a premium member at Walk the Mock. The site should be in the link in the description below, but be sure to use code BROSHMO, all caps, uppercase, baby, right there. Code BROSHMO gets you 20% off. So whether you want to do a monthly or for the year, that's all up to you. Who am I to get in your business? But without further ado, let's get into the nitty gritty. We're looking at Pro Football Focus's Nick Farabro, I believe. His mock draft today. It's a 4-round mock draft. I'm only going to cover the first round. I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you want to check out the rest of the 3 rounds, the full 4. But we're only going to cover the first round. Given with the trade, I like to see what people are thinking, looking at all the possibilities out there. But yeah, let's take a look at my good friends at stinking Pro Football Focus. Yeah, that was passive aggressive. All right, so I'm assuming we're going to see, Trevor Lawrence, 1. It makes a ton of sense. Chalk it in. Yeah. Then on top of that, we do have Zach Wilson going number 2 here. It's really hard to believe what they'll do. Like in this piece, he says, I want to believe in Sam Darnold. But yeah, the situation has been terrible for him. I really believe they should move on, but I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what their moves will be. Because you got to think, man, a trade's got to be coming soon if they're going to make that move. If they're going to stick at 2, I don't see them not going quarterback. That's just the thing. So at number 3, here's the money pick. San Francisco 49ers. They're going Trey Lance. Very believable, man. He's getting a lot of hype as we see Justin Fields goes to Atlanta. We'll get to that in a minute. But Trey Lance going to San Fran. I'm really tossing and turning. People are throwing Mac Jones' hat into the ring there. I think they're going to go with the more mobile quarterback, maybe the quarterback with a bit more upside, better arm. That's my opinion. But I think Justin Fields, he's ready to start now. Some people think they're going to keep Jimmy G just because they said so. I don't believe that for a minute. I think they're probably going to, if they can't trade him, they're just going to cut him just because he's a lot of money. But I think they're going to try to, we want him. We're going to keep him. And they're just going to try to milk as much as they can out of a trade. And I think just going to lead to his release. But Trey Lance, you don't necessarily have to start him right away. I think in a Kyle Shanahan type of scheme, you could kind of hide a lot of his current deficiencies as he develops. So you can't start him right away if you really want to. But if you're going to keep Jimmy G, then you might as well go Trey Lance. He's got the higher upside, in my opinion. But I think the safer floor is definitely with Fields, who goes here to Atlanta. Another a team prime to basically just trade out of this pick. I hear Atlanta, they're getting offers. So it'll be interesting. I think if they stay put at this pick, then based on how they restructured Matt Ryan's contract, this could very well be Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase. I think those are the only 2 that really make sense. Maybe you can make a case for Penei Sewell, but I think Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase make a bit more sense. So I think if they do stay put, like I used to be this avid, hey, if they're up at 4, go ahead. You're going to draft Fields. After how restructuring works, because I don't think they can really release or trade Matt Ryan till 2023, because it's going to, at that point, it ends up in only $15 million dead cap. And if they decide to do it next year, it's going to be $40 million. So it's just not pretty. It's not pretty. It just seems hard to do. And then at 5, the Bengals go, they go Penei Sewell, and we see the Dolphins go Devonta Smith. We'll get to that in a sec. The Bengals, So it makes sense. I totally would make this pick too. It's just the thing is, see, and they comment, Joe Burrow, he is begging for protection. But the word is he's campaigning for Jamar Chase. So I don't know. I'm honestly, either one of those picks are just fine with me. So yeah, Devonta Smith. I'm not going Devonta Smith over Jamar Chase. I'm sorry. Jamar Chase, he's a full like 30 pounds heavier. They both do very similar things. It's just you don't have to worry about Jamar Chase's size. You don't have to worry about, will that physicality translate to the NFL like you have to do with Smith? That's my case. Am I saying Smith's bad prospect? Am I saying he's not going to translate to the NFL? Absolutely not. I think chances are he does. But if I'm taking a top 10 pick, I'm not going to go that risky. And then at 7, we have Jamar Chase. Here we go to the Detroit Lions. Like, really, if Chase is off the board at this pick, you could maybe justify Sewell. You can maybe Kyle Pitts, I think, is also a solid pick here. You might be like, they got TJ Hawkinson. If you just view Pitts as a tight end, then I don't think you're looking at him right. I don't think your evaluation may be correct there. I think Pitts, regardless of what tight end you have, you can work Pitts into your offense, and it would be phenomenal. But yeah, if those guys are off the board, maybe you even make the case for Micah Parsons. If you're not too worried about the character red flags, not saying that they're set in stone. Again, just allegations that had no support behind them. So it's important to look at all aspects, I guess. At 8, we have Carolina Panthers going Kyle Pitts now that all the quarterbacks are off the board. Essentially, I'm not going to lie, man. I'm telling you, Matt Rule, he coached Mac Jones. They were real chummy at the Senior Bowl. If all the quarterbacks are off the board, don't be surprised if Mac Jones goes with this pick. I'm just going to say that. Because guess what? Joe Brady, he worked with Joe Burrow, who had very similar arm strength and arm talent. Well, I'd say Mac Jones has a bit less arm talent compared to Burrow, but they're very similar in some aspects. So it wouldn't surprise me. At 9, we got a trade. Wow, the Vikings, they trade up for Rashawn Slater. Interesting. I don't know. Right now, I got my eggs in the basket of Vikings trading down if they can't get a Darisaw or a Slater. This is interesting. They trade up. They have the draft capital to do that. Wow, that's a lot. Because what's a third rounder, a second rounder next year to trade up? What? That would be like 5 or 6 spots, something like that. That's wild. Interesting. But hey, man, that's a good pick. I don't know. If I'm the Vikings, I might stay put. I don't want to give up all that draft capital to go up for Slater. Because I'm kind of cool with Darisaw. They're both very close on my board. So I'm a bit indifferent about the trade up. Then we got Dallas Cowboys, J.C. Horn. I'm just going to say it right now, man. I think Patrick Surtain's a better fit. They're very close, actually. They're very close. Cornerback, though, I think Dallas kind of lucked out that both Horn and Surtain just blew out their pro days out of the water. So yeah, both these are blue. So far, I really got, I got no qualms here. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, with the Kyle Pitts pick, that's great. That's fine. I love Kyle Pitts. It's a good pick. But then I could say maybe they make a move towards getting Sam Darnold. I don't like the Smith pick. I don't know how. I don't feel good about the Justin Fields pick. Yeah, and then the Vikings trade down. So I got a few qualms, just a few. And Gregory Rousseau, and then I already showed the next pick, so let's just go ahead and move up. Gregory Rousseau going to the Giants. Even if this is Joe Judge's guy, dude, trade down. The Bears, someone's going to be trying to trade up for Mac Jones. Like, I think Mac Jones goes in the top 15. I think it happens. So, yeah, and Rousseau, man, I haven't seen if he had his pro day yet. I'm doing a lot of that this week. Like, this whole week is me just like, because this is really the last week of the important pro days. So I'm just kind of like crunching those and then doing while trying to adjust my rankings. Just Rousseau, man, it's real tricky just because exceptionally raw, and he'd acknowledge that he does have the upside, the physical tools. That's why I thought Gettleman would go Tristan Wirfs last year, just because the tools, Wirfs or Mekhi Becton. I was real surprised it was Andrew Thomas. But yeah, Eagles, they go Jalen Waddle. I mean, that's nice. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I guess Waddle then just operates almost from the slot exclusively. It's great value at 12. It's a good pick. And then 13, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's no, I don't know. You maybe make a case for Parsons, but I think I'd still go Waddle just because the playmakers. Maybe Patrick Surtain. There's a few different possibilities. But Christian Darrisaw is kind of a no-brainer, the Chargers at this point. Then Denver, they trade down to get Azeez Ojulari. Interesting. I love Azeez. He's probably one of my favorite prospects. Don't be surprised if my edge rankings come out. He's my edge one. I'm that in love with Ojulari as a prospect. He's probably got the most pass rushing moves in this class. He just has this it factor. He's so crafty around the edge. Just incredible. But for Denver, man, it'd be hard not to go Micah Parsons. I wonder where Micah Parsons ends up here. Yeah. Just so you know, I don't look at the picks beforehand, so I'm looking at it real time. These are real time reactions. I don't know. I'm still in the boat of, hey, if Mac Jones is there, he's better than Drew Lock. And Mac Jones going to the Patriots. He's going to sit behind Cam Newton or wait for Cam Newton to throw 19 interceptions. One of the two. But, yeah, that's good value for Bill Belichick, man. Patrick Surtain falling to the Cardinals is, yeah, him or Horn, man. If they make it here, the Cardinals would be doing great. I love it. And then 17. Oh, we gotta turn the page. How exciting! All right, I'm gonna close these ads. And then look, these action figures are kind of cool. Trevon Merrick, man, I've been calling this. I'm calling a trade down for the Raiders, or at least that's the best case scenario. I think you could trade down and still get that good value for Merrick, but I think the Raiders go there just because they don't have someone they don't have a deep safety, a good one at least, not even an average one. So yeah, I'm totally inclined to thinking that, oh wow, it's Najee Harris, man, to the Dolphins. You know I don't love it. You know I don't love running backs in the first round unless they're like unless you fit both criterias, luxury pick, and they're generational essentially, or just like ridiculously athletic, or ridiculous like just potential. Like I love ATN. Like he's probably my favorite running back in this class. I wouldn't consider him first round. It's just hard to justify the value here. You could say the Dolphins, they have the luxury of having all these picks. Yes, but they could definitely address other positions that are more valuable. So Colts, they trade up for Samuel Cosmi. Is interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see who's everyone's tackle for at this point, because I've seen Tevin Jenkins, Samuel Cosmi, Jalen Mayfield in some cases. So it's gonna be really interesting. But yeah, I think they could plug. There's a lot of these tackles you could plug day one and be fine, not worry about it. That's why it's such a good class. Like I think we're gonna see a bunch go on day two. So yeah, I like this pick, man. Cosmi, he knocked it out of the water with his pro day, and they gave. Does Chris Ballard trade up though? Does he trade up? So Washington gets a 19. Oh, well, okay. Whoa, that's a lot of compensation, man. That's a lot to trade up for. All right, Bears, Greg Newsome. I'm not surprised. I think Caleb Farley's would be interesting pick here again. If the back doesn't scare you too much, but yeah, corner, tackle. They kind of feel like the picks here if they don't trade up for a quarterback. Then again, Andy Dalton, man, he's the starter. They promised. Washington football team, they get them Micah Parsons. Wow, falls to 24. Like I said, Micah Parsons right now, depending on how you feel about like the allegations and stuff, if you haven't really deep dived into that, deals with I think it was Isaiah Humphries, and it was actually filed a lawsuit against Penn State and James Franklin. I believe that's the coach at Penn State. And Parsons was just one of the guys named in this this case. But there was no evidence to really back it. There were no witnesses or anything. Not to say it's not true, but it's hard. Like again, the burden of proof is on the accuser, so it's hard to justify that. But when you're dealing with the draft, you hear stuff like that and it kind of scares you away from the prospect. I've seen him going as far as like late first round, like 25, 28 area. So it could happen. It really just depends how much you weigh that against him. And then the Tennessee Titans go Caleb Farley. So they go with Farley. I like this pick a lot. Farley, I think some team's going to get really good value on Farley. Just, again, with the back, and then you combine that with, him opting out, you only having the 1 year of elite production. It's a bit concerning, but he does have those high-end traits to be a top 10 corner in this draft. So, like top 10 pick, I should say. And then 23, we got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah going to the Jets. Honestly, this is the exact type of linebacker I think Robert Saleh would love. Love. Just a coverage beast. And then a second running back in the first round of the Steelers, Devonta Williams. Anybody out there that thinks what the Steelers need is a running back, you a fool. You are a fool. Tevin Jenkins is still on the board. I'd take Tevin Jenkins. I think he's a better pick, better positional value. I think there's a lot of different areas that they could probably go with here. But as much as I love Javonte Williams, and I love Javonte Williams, I love Williams so much. Like I always tweet out that that run he had against Miami, and I'm a Hurricanes fan. That's how you can tell I like a prospect. But I don't like this pick in the first round. 25, Jacksonville Jaguars, Christian Barmore. I feel a few ways about this. I guess I feel a little bit better now that Tyson Alualu decided to go back to the Steelers. But like, you know what? I think I'm going to go to Pittsburgh. Jacksonville, it's not as nice as I thought. I'm gone. But they did also bring in, they drafted Devin Hamilton last year. They brought in Malcolm Brown from the Saints. So they have the nose. I mean, Christian Barmore really could play a variety of different spots on that line, but they really, really spent this offseason trying to get that defensive line in check for the change to the 3-4. So, bit interesting. I mean, hey, value-wise, it's great, though. And then we got Kwity Paye, man. And then Joseph Asai. Might as well scroll down more. Too much. Kwity Paye going to the Browns. I really feel like that if Jason Oweh's here, he'd be the pick. I think they're trying to, like, you got your power rusher in Myles Garrett. I think they're going to look for that athletic freak on the other side. And I mean, dude, Kwity Paye's got a ton of athleticism. I just feel like Jason Oweh is more of what maybe Stefanski is looking for. And this is, again, basing it on his time in Minnesota. So this could be totally ignorant to what they're actually looking for as a team. But Kwity Paye is tremendous value here, man. I think he should definitely go in the top 20 just based on just his tools. And he did develop actually quite a bit this year. I know we didn't see it for a full year, but it was good development. Joseph Asai, I don't feel like he's a first rounder. Athletically, he checked out great. It's just you worry about him against power, man. He got ragdolled by Tevin Jenkins. Like, it's a concern. You might be, and again, I think he's probably best for a 4-3. Like, he was at his best when they were like, hey, put your hand in the dirt and get after it. And he did. I know he has experience playing in coverage. He has experience being like a hybrid pass rusher. that's just not when he wasn't at his best at that point. Like, at that point, it was in 2020 when they were like, get after it. That, again, that's just me. That's just what I think. And then we saw Rashad Bateman to the Saints. It's great value, but man, you have no corners. Marshawn Lattimore, best case scenario, he doesn't get suspended, but who's cornerback too? I know at this point there's no corners on the board. That's why I really think, because Loomis, he gets aggressive. Like, I think last year for his first 3 or 4 picks, he traded up to get all of them. Like, or their picks last year, the guys they got, he traded up for all of them. So if he sees a guy he likes, he will trade up and get after him. I think that if they see a corner they like, whether it's maybe a Farley, whether it's maybe a Newsome, they'll get after it. That's just my opinion. And then 29, Tevin Jenkins. Let's show 30 while we're at it, man. My scroll game's off today. I like the Tevin Jenkins pick. It's really good value. I think he's probably going to be my offensive tackle 4. I don't know. I'll find out this week. It's very close. Definitely think he warrants a first round. I kind of like Elijah Moore here. I'm not. It's just what it is. I really like him as a fit for Green Bay's offense. I just think he's so deadly. And you might be like, well, they have MVS and Alan Lazard. He's better than those guys. You can maybe give Alan Lazard a bit of maybe give him a bit for the benefit of the doubt, because he's been pretty good in his own right. But he's better than MVS. At least Moore has ball skills. And then at 30, we saw Jalen Phillips. Again, the only concerns, he brings it up here with the injury history, is those concussions. We haven't seen it in the last couple of seasons. Keep in mind, the concussions, they came early in his career, forced him to retire. He decided to come back. UCLA actually forced him to retire. And then he was like, I want to come back, but they wouldn't let him play, so he transferred to Miami. Concussions have not popped up since. But again, when you're talking about these trench players, they take a lot of hits to the head. So you kind of worry about that. For me, I might. The dude's got the skill set, man. To be a top 15, top 10 player, it's just, you're very concerned. And we only saw elite production over the second half of this season. He was kind of shut down early on. So for me, it's a bit too many questions to go again. But then you could also make the case, this is late in the second round, take that shot. So I'm totally, I'm okay with this. This could be a stellar pick. 31, Alex Leatherwood. Some people really believe Alex Leatherwood, man, is still a first rounder. I don't blame him, man. He's got the length. He's got the size. He's strong. He's a proven pass protector. Where does he lose? Speed versus speed. Clavon Chason back in 2019. Senior Bowl against William Bradley Keene against Quincy Roche. He lost to speed because of lazy footwork, but that was on Senior Bowl day 2. The rest of the practices that week, he cleaned up and he was dominant. Like, that's the thing. You worry about, like, is this something you're going to worry? Like, is this something that's going to be a concern? Or is it, hey, he just needs a bit more discipline, just not taking plays off? Because it feels like he takes plays off sometimes. Or at least that's what it felt like. And then you could also make the case, maybe you could slide him into guard. I don't like that. Try him out at tackle first. So I don't mind Leatherwood pick. There's just prospects I have higher, especially in this tackle class, than Leatherwood. And then 32, Jason Owe. This is a steal in my opinion. Some people were like, he got 0 sacks. Look at his pressure rate, dude. If you're still evaluating pass rushers by sacks, you're a fool. You're naive. You're a fool. You're the reason that guys like Frank Clark get these top 5 edge rusher contracts and don't live up to them. Oh, he was phenomenal in the playoffs. How was he the rest of the 17 games? Well, he was hurt. He was beat up. All right, I'm glad you're paying for that. It really irks me. The guys like Dante Fowler, who they are a very good second option at pass rusher. They're never gonna be Cinderella. It's just what it is. So if you're evaluating guys like that, stop it. Stop. Shame on you. Always great, man. And he improved tremendously as a run defender. We saw the speed. It's flat out disgusting. So a ton of protection, a ton of I guess you would say upside, ton of speed. Will probably need to be I mean, the Bucks, they could use him as a rotation player early. They still got JPP. They still got and they got Shaquille Barrett for the long haul for the next 4 years at least. So yeah, this is a really good pick. Yeah, so I'm gonna go check out the rest of this, but you could check out the rest of it in the link in the description. Look at that, Pro Football Network. I'm throwing guys to your site. Gonna ghost me on Twitter. All of course. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.